Hi guys, welcome back to the Once You're In podcast. This is episode number 63. We don't have a special guest on this week, but we are planning to next week. So Josh did say that he's available next Thursday at 1:30. So next week we're going to be coming at you with a special guest episode, even though it's not that special because you know that it's going to be Mr. Croggan. You didn't even reply, mate. I was like, yeah, mate, excited. You don't even care.
I was at the football game, mate. I didn't see the message afterwards.
We still could have said, yeah, can't wait to have you on.
Yeah, I can't wait to get Josh Croggan on WNBF Pro.
Big deal, mate.
Pro. Yeah, Men's Physique Pro. 49 weeks out. We can talk about his prep.
Yeah, his plans for next year in Dubai.
Yeah.
We won't give anything away now.
Yeah, exactly. Like with the, I don't know, I'm guessing he's got his peak laid out. He's got everything already laid out. 49 weeks out, you have to. He's probably got his maintenance phase already prepped.
He's in that now.
Oh, he is in his maintenance phase. So what it is. So he's ran a maintenance phase since after prep last year. No improvement.
You've got to, otherwise you can't get lean.
Yeah, he's going to be so sensitive and just responsive that the second that prep starts and he actually starts to go into a deficit. So yeah, it'll be good to get Josh on. For people that are listening, Josh is like, I'd say relatively similar to me and Finn. So if you like me and Finn and you're listening, wicked. If you don't, might not be the podcast for you, unfortunately.
We'll do a questions box so you can ask Josh some questions. If you can ask us some questions, but we'll say questions for the podcast and Josh.
Yeah. And then we can see how he responds to the once you're in pressure.
And then I think in the long run, if one of us is away or just now and again we fancy having Josh on, he's welcome. If he doesn't fuck up next week. Next week's like his trial, basically.
Yeah. And we'll remind him this in like the pre-recording lobby when we're having a chat beforehand. We'll be like, right, Josh, this is it, mate.
He's got to impress.
You better not stutter. You better act yourself. You better not try and be all funny and clever and try and throw us under the bush. You've got to pretend that like everything we say is hilarious, and then you've just got to chip in when you can. So we'll see how he goes, because it's natural to us now. We've been doing this for so long. It's been over a year and a half, I think, we've been doing these now.
Yeah, I had a guy at the gym yesterday. He won't mind me mentioning his name. He'll probably be buzzing that I've mentioned him. To be fair, so he's called Archie Wilson. He trains with Dan at Evo with the curly hair.
Yeah, I spoke to him the other day. He seems like a nice.
So he said he got me to spot him on the pendulum, and then like a few minutes later, he was like, "Oh mate, I've been listening to the podcast," and I was like, "Oh, sound mate." Like we had a chat about it, and then today he sent me like a clip from the podcast. So I don't know if it was quite a while ago, I think, because he showed me like what episode he's on. He said he's started from the beginning, and the clip me and you were talking about when people come up to us and say, "Oh, like we like the podcast," and we were like, we almost find it a bit awkward. Like we say, "Oh, thank you," like we don't know what else to say. Like, "Oh, thanks for listening." Like it's cool, but you almost feel like you can't say anything much else other than, "Oh, thanks, mate." Like you want to have a proper conversation, but you can't. And then we said something about like, oh, just like writing out an autograph, not saying anything, just writing out an autograph and giving it him. Then he sent me that today on Instagram. He's like, "Where's my autograph?" Because he obviously asked me yesterday about the podcast. But yeah, like he's quite a nice guy, to be fair. But wait, what we were saying before that?
Mate, you just started talking about Archie. You were like, yeah, Archie.
No, because you mentioned it.
It's natural to us. Been doing this for a year and a half.
Yeah. So that made me think about what episode we're on, and then he was showing me what episodes we're on. He was on.
Oh, what was it? I thought was this recent or was it long time ago? This was
yesterday.
No, I mean the podcast he was listening to.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. Ages ago, I think, because I can't remember it.
I can't remember.
Ages ago, he was on.
I don't remember half the stuff. Like I'll have Beth, Sanaya's housemate. She told me literally earlier. She was like, "Oh, I was listening to your Arnold recap about this and that," and I was like, "I can't even remember saying that." She asked if we actually met Ronnie, and I was like, "Yeah, we met him. Yeah, we met him."
Why do you think we're taking out the Everybody Rose?
Yeah, exactly. She didn't realize that we were taking the piss out of that. So she was like, "Oh, did you actually ask him about Yeah Buddy Rose?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course." He told us to take him out.
The amount of questions that I get about Yeah Buddy Rose, like I get, even my mum asked me. My mum on Instagram. I was at my mum and dad's on Sunday. She could have had all day to ask me. Monday morning, she messaged me like, "What are Yeah Buddy Rose?" And did the crippled man tell you to take them out? What? Let me find the message. So my mum's watched a documentary, right, on Ronnie. Apparently it's on Netflix. So when I posted about him on my story, she put, "Oh, the crippled man from the documentary, the guy from the program." She put. Anyway, she asked me, "Huh?"
You added the crippled man
The
yourself.
cripple man, yeah, that was just me. So no. What are YB rows? The crippled man said so. Yeah, that's what she asked me. I put,
Yeah.
I'll explain next time I see you. This was Monday morning when I'd been with her all day Sunday. So I'll have to tell her next time I see her.
Fucking hell. Yeah, buddy Rose.
The crippled man said so. Yeah. The crippled man said so.
We're taking over, mate. I feel like we're not, we can't really be pioneers of the Yeah Buddy Road because we're both not doing them anymore. But
Yeah,
so I
but
feel like
we're like trendsetters. So
for what
we've done them now. People are going to be doing them for months, and then they'll be like, "Oh, my back started hurting," and we'll be like, "Yeah, why are you still doing Yebody Roads?" They're from like
exactly. This is literally the reason why we took them out. We got absolutely fucked. Our hips are awful. I feel like
we've still got clients doing them, and then when the client says, "Oh, mate, my hips are hurting," I go, "Well, yeah, it's your fault. You're doing Yebody Roads. I didn't tell you, even though they're programmed."
even though I literally write on the sheets YB row. It's like what do you expect?
And the
Like,
cue says, "Just fucking throw it. Just throw it about. Make it look as awful as you can."
the cues like put your bed over row weight on, then put 2 more plates on the side, and then just go for it. That's what
Mine
it is.
just says, "Make this look as awful as possible." That's what it says in
Really?
the cues. Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. So what? No eccentric, and a whole
Oh,
of
and there's
control.
no tempo for a yeah, buddy rope, mate.
Just a yeah. Is it the tempo for just yeah, buddy?
It's
That's
just
what.
all crossed out. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what makes sense. We need to think about. Obviously, we know Andy Bewley, yeah, buddy T-bar rows, which I actually think yeah, buddy T-bar rows could be better than yeah, buddy rows because they're more safe and they're probably not as fun, but you can get a lot out of a
You know what
YBTB.
I think? I have a theory, and it's not really a theory, but I think that your last set, either your entire last set, and it depends on the exercise, but either your entire last set or your last few reps of your last set on an exercise can be pretty yeah, buddy. Anyway,
Oh yeah, 100%.
on
That's not
most things, not on
yeah,
everything,
yeah,
not like
no,
on like a squat or a leg press or anything like that, but on like a row, on most back movements, I would
yeah.
say. To be fair, pretty much just on back movements. Because you wouldn't do a yeah
Yeah,
buddy rep on a chest press.
yeah.
Last few
Anything
on a
that's like
chest press.
yeah, anything that's like hard to get short, or like so for example, like a leg extension, you could easily do a few yeah buddy reps on a leg extension,
Yeah.
not
And just
too
log it
short.
as +3 YB.
Yeah, exactly. And then when your knees are fucked, don't come to us. Fuck off. We're not coming at you for the shockwave therapy bills. We need to
Yeah.
fix the cell tendons
But
because
no,
you
like
just
I think especially for back, I think
yeah,
back's one of those where you can make it look so pretty and it's just like you never use any real significant load. But then I
yeah,
do still think there's a massive benefit to having those really pretty reps. Like, I don't think
yeah,
it should be that every rep you're just throwing the weight about. Like, I think there's a mix almost. So, like,
yeah.
let's say you do 2 sets or 3 sets, your final set might be a bit heavier and the form's a little bit looser, but you're still performing it, safely and adequately. You're still connecting with the body part, but you're not being overly pretty with it.
Yeah, well, the Yeah Buddy rows, we started and you started. It was the Yeah Buddy reps on the lateral raise. That's what the lateral raise was
Exactly. And that's right. You remember who started it. Thank you
yeah,
for giving me the credit. You remember.
yeah. Finn did some lateral raises, and then I remember where I was sat, and I remember even I was in my Hera jumper. I remember because I literally looked at myself in the mirror and I had like tears rolling down my. Because Finn was literally like he just looked at me in the mirror and just said yeah buddy and then started swinging the dumbbells around. And then he was like, mate, that felt really good. And it was like, yeah, buddy reps.
They
And
are, yeah, buddy reps.
that was where the yeah, buddy rep started. And then I think we added like a bent over row and we just started calling it a yeah, buddy row. So it was like, yeah, cool, fair enough.
Now it's a thing.
Well, to be fair, no, it initially was a T, but it was a bent over row. And then as always with any bent over row, your form just becomes worse. And it transitions into a yeah, buddy row.
Honestly, mate, like I feel like AJ is like the pioneer of the yeah buddy row, right? I feel like we need to get him on board with it because I commented on it he put that post on Natural BB Worldwide. I commented saying, he was like, I don't even call it a bent over row. He said, I just call it a row. And I said, mate, no, it's a yeah buddy row. We termed it, and he didn't get back to me. I think he put a laughing face, but if AJ starts saying it, mate, everybody's going to be saying it.
We need to get AJ's lucky though because you can apply like AJ Morris execution tax on all.
Yeah, he does get AJ Morris tax. To be fair,
yeah, because everybody just looks at AJ and goes, "Oh wow, his form's immaculate," and his bent over rows have always been pretty dire, but that's fine.
It's not a bent over row.
It's not a bent over row. Yeah,
It is
row.
a yeah buddy row. It's the biggest yeah buddy row I've ever seen in my life. But
people
it doesn't
think it's
matter.
bent over row. People think it's an immaculate bent over row. You know,
I tell you what,
if
AJ films that from the side, right, or from the back, I'm telling you guys, like these people that think his form's immaculate are going to be massively shocked. And I would. This isn't us taking the piss out of AJ. AJ knows that it's not a bent over row. AJ's strong. AJ's got a great back. Like he can do whatever the fuck he wants. No one gives a shit. But that is a yeah buddy row. If you're unsure what one is,
we give a shit when in relation to us being benefited by him being another pioneer of the yeah buddy row. So AJ, we care about you telling everybody it's a yeah buddy row.
I'd love to see that. If he just posted like on Natural Bodybuilding Worldwide, he did one of those reels and he was like, right guys, this is the yeah buddy row termed by Finn Kelly and Reece Pearson. I'll give you a bit of credit, mate. I mean, I termed it, but I'll let you join it.
Okay, thanks for that.
Mate, we'd be famous. The fucking Google Forms coming in, it'd be like that.
Actually, not for me, mate. I'd be there. People like we wouldn't be able to share me. You'd be able to say you. You wouldn't be able to tag me on MBW.
They'd bleep it out. Anybody that enhanced it's like a swear word. On the like, side, if you say anything, it just goes.
Yeah, exactly. You wouldn't be able. Like I've noticed, he doesn't even reply to my comments anymore. Bless him. Like, cheers, AJ.
Yeah,
like, he doesn't even like my photos.
He's not allowed to be associated with you.
No, exactly. So yeah, I went for a fist bump at the UKDFBA and he just aired me. I was like, oh, thanks. These things did happen. We love it.
Just a ghost.
AJ, get on with the yeah buddy row.
Honestly, if he said it, if he was like, right, this is what I'm going to call it. Well, actually, I'd be pissed off if he said that. Because I'd be like, no, we've called it that. But if he was like, right, I'm going to term it as this, mate, it'd be all over the place.
Yeah, be more than what we've done. We've crawled so someone else can run with it. Like we've put in the foundation.
We've put in the groundwork.
We've primed. We've ran a priming phase with the row.
This could be our legacy.
Yeah.
When we die, like people will be doing yeah buddy rows for centuries, and they'll be going, wonder why it's called that, and then they'll look back and they'll go, oh, these two lads called it.
No, they'll look back and go, oh, Ronnie Coleman. And then these people technically took the piss out of a crippled man.
No, it'll all be us, mate. It'll all be us.
People will know exactly.
People won't even know Ronnie Coleman in 100 years, but they'll know us and they'll know what we mentioned. We made it up. They'll know this podcast. Right, come on, we need to get on with questions because I've got some from last week and we need to be done for bang on 2:30.
Yes. How has your week been though, mate?
Mate, I've just said we need to get on with the questions. No one
how's your week been?
It's been great.
Yeah, okay, cool.
How's yours been?
Sound, mate. Yeah. Anything to report?
I'm just shredded and enjoying reversing out, mate.
Okay, fair enough. I'm deloading currently. My body is battered.
Because you told me you're taking time off to be a TikToker.
I didn't say this. So I don't get this. I literally said before we started record, Finn, what the fuck was your story about yesterday? Because Finn put a story up saying Reece is being a TikToker. So what, I'm going to Marbella for a week.
Hey,
that's what it is.
I said to you on Tuesday, I was like, right, see you tomorrow for the session at Evo. And you said, oh, I can't, mate. I said, what do you mean you can't? He said, I'm being a TikToker. And I said, what? He said, I'm being a TikToker. I've got to make content.
I haven't even uploaded on TikTok this Monday. Mate, I've got 47,500 followers on TikTok. I reckon once I hit that 50, do you reckon my protein are going to be in my DMs? Or like,
surprised
I reckon I'm surprised, honestly. 50k followers.
You're too big for my protein. They like people that look like they're not on gear.
Yeah. They like that sort of in between, like fake natty sort of look, where you've got all right delts. Yeah, I don't know about that, mate. All right delts, like a few veins, but you're small, and you're like almost like a bit of a pretty boy. That's in my protein.
I don't have a few veins.
No, exactly. Why the hell do they sponsor Jamie then? What does Jamie do? Like
James Smith's fit.
Yeah, James Smith. Yeah, he's just literally he's a CrossFitter now.
He hasn't got any of those attributes.
Yeah, I know. He hasn't got. He's good looking though, isn't he? He's quite.
I don't think he's not even good looking.
You don't think Jamie's good looking?
Nah, mate.
I tell him every Tuesday on his check-in he's pretty good looking. To be fair,
every single week.
Every single week, mate.
Hey, mate. Thanks for this week's check-in. You're really good looking. Let's carry on with the rest of it.
No, that's what it is. And then this week it's just like, right, we're adding in more crossbody cable.
Yeah, I'm telling mate. Well, he might be listening to this. I'm disappointed in him. What did I message you? I thought he wanted to compete the fucking lemon. I think I put.
Yeah. I haven't told Jamie this, but this is basically Finn's reaction. So we went out for a meal with Jamie and Matthew after Matthew competed, and Jamie was there like, oh yeah, I'd like to compete. I'd like to do it one day. I reckon I could, and Jamie could, and it wouldn't surprise me if Jamie would
He wasn't
actually.
really saying it then, but I remember like a few weeks or months down the line, you said that he'd probably
Yeah.
spoken about it.
Yeah. I think it was like a week or two after because I asked him like, "What do you reckon?" And he was like, "Yeah, I think I could." But the thing is with Jamie, he's a lovely lad, but he's very like he's almost a bit like a butterfly where he floats to one thing then something else. Like we did some powerlifting. I have no doubts next year he'll be wanting to get lean and he'll be on it with let's say bodybuilding, emphasize training. And the thing is with Jamie is he's so less like low stress. He just does things he enjoys. So right now like we're running some like functional like borderline sort of like hybrid sort of like athlete approach, and it's quite good fun. He's doing like Muay Thai 2 or 3 times a week, doing a bit of CV, food's at baseline. He's enjoying his training sessions, and he feels good as a result of that. So yeah, even though we've lost him to the functional side,
We've lost him.
we've
Another
lost him.
brother's gone.
Yeah,
All the best,
exactly.
mate. All the best.
Another one's gone, but no, it's quite cool with how Jamie is. But it wouldn't surprise me if, let's say, come next year or the year after, he's like, oh yeah, I want to do a men's physique show, and it'll be something that he'd want to prioritize. But yeah, I quite like that sort of approach. I think if I wasn't as serious,
Yeah.
I would do things, that are like, oh, I'm doing something different.
I said the same thing to Ben. So like to Ben Mitchum, like he's never once said that he wants to compete, and he basically just said to me like, "Oh mate, I think I want to, basically just do this. I want to focus a bit more on just general health, doing a bit more sport." I was like, "Mate, that's awesome." I was like, "Change is a good thing." Like I think people get worried about change. They think change is a bad thing. It's like, "Oh, I'm really scared to change something," but like change, obviously, if the goal is bodybuilding, change isn't good. You need to keep doing the same thing over and over and over. If the goal isn't bodybuilding, like, there's nothing wrong with trying something new, trying different programs, trying different, goals, different sort of, avenues to go down. Because how do you know? You might find something that you love, or you might hate it. In which case, you think, "All right, I don't like that." You don't have to keep doing it. Like, but yeah, I think a lot of people are worried. They're going, "Oh, maybe I'm going to jump on this bandwagon." It's like, well, if you've not got any competitive goals, really, why not give it a go? Like, give it a go, see how you get on. If you don't like it, you can revert back. Like, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, exactly. I think a lot of people nowadays with like social media pressure, stuff like that. Like, how many sports did you start as a kid? Like, how many times did you try something different and you go, "Oh, sick! I actually quite like that sport," or you do a session or two and you go, "That was not for me."
Yeah.
But I think a lot of times nowadays with social media pressure, how it is, it's almost where like your path in life should be almost like.
Yeah, I think it's like an age thing. Like people at 20 odd, they don't want to try new things because like, oh, this is what I do.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like if you enjoy it and you do well, great.
Yeah.
But if you don't, try something else.
Yeah, exactly. And if you don't enjoy that sound, you might try something else. And there's probably a sport. I bet, like I said, we were to try every single sport. If we were to downsize and be like relatively healthy joint wise, we would try different sports together. I bet there'd be some sports that we'd go, "That's fucking awful. What the hell?" And there'd be other sports we'd go, "You know what? I'd actually do that a few times a week." I played basketball a few times when I was like late teens at like a club, and I actually thought this is quite cool. I could imagine me doing it. I was awful, but I think I quite like that skill progression of wanting to get better. And that's not to say I'm going to become a fucking basketball player, but like it's one of those where if I was to stop,
but if when you're not doing competitive bodybuilding, like if I wasn't doing competitive bodybuilding, I'd be playing football probably 2-3 times a week.
Competitive bodybuilding, like you competitive.
Mate, I'm going to be competitive next year.
No,
You're not seeing, mate. This is why my mindset's so shit. Because you just fucking put me down all the time. And then I look at myself and I go, "Oh, I look like shit." And then
just do what other people do. Train with people who are like a lot worse than you, and you'll feel really good about it.
I know. I probably should. I can't find anyone.
Looking around.
I've tried, mate. I've tried. I even went to Pure Gym. No one. Everyone's better than me there. Yeah, everyone.
Oh, well. Next year, mate.
Come on, let's get on with it.
Step up, mate. Right, we'll get through the questions, okay?
I've got some good ones. This is actually a really good one. I'm pretty sure we didn't do this. I'm pretty sure these 4 came through after we finished. This is from Oren, fantastic listener to the podcast. Outside training and nutrition, how would you rank the next 5 most important variables? We didn't do that, did we?
Oh, we've answered this before, but like one of the first few podcasts, I remember this.
Okay, so training and nutrition, put those aside. The next one would definitely be sleep.
Yep.
The next 5 most important. Sleep. I mean, are we saying nutrition as a whole in terms of like nutrient timing? Right, let's just say there's no training or nutrition.
Yeah, training, nutrition. So anything
Training
that
and
goes
nutrition's
out.
perfect. Let's
Okay.
imagine.
Yeah.
Sleep would definitely be the next one.
You're not thinking mentality. Like you're mentally, if you're like you and you just have self-doubt and you're a massive pussy.
What about
Like
your
this,
circle? I think your circle.
I'd say mentality is probably more important than sleep, if I'm honest. If you're going in and you've had like, let's say 3 hours sleep, you're like, I'm fucking getting after it today.
No.
Or you've had 7 hours, instead of 7 hours 30, and you've had 7 hours 28, and you're like 2 minutes under.
I think if you look at it from an extreme, yeah. So if you look at it going, oh, you're an absolute wet wipe going into sessions, like not even putting any effort in. But training, if you could include training, he said training and nutrition outside of that. So I would say sleep, because if you're getting 3 hours sleep, you're going to be making much progress, no matter how good your mentality is.
Yeah.
Sleep, then mentality, then stress management, which you could include in mentality. Your circle, your red circle emoji, that's important.
Emoji. Yeah, so important that. What other things are you looking at? Could we say like adherence? Is that going to be one? Because that's going to be massive.
Yeah, but again, if training and nutrition is on it, you would assume adherence is within that. It's like there's not 5 other things really. There is if you go right, if you nitpick, but when you're nitpicking, it's within training.
You could look at mentality, but then you could also look at application, like how well are you applying yourself in other areas, and like consistently, adherence, so many things.
So many buzzwords.
Yeah, exactly. So things that people don't really need to worry about, but people do. To
be fair, that is actually quite a good take home from that question. Like if you're training and nutrition's bang on, get your sleep bang on, and you're probably all right.
Yeah, and just don't be a pussy.
Yeah, there's not going to be another 4 or 5 variables that you need to stress about, to be honest.
Yeah, I do agree. Right, Catherine said, what will it take to get the Once You're In boys over to America? So Catherine's an American client. And I said to her, give us a place to stay and pay for our flights and we'll be there before you know it.
Yeah, simple as that.
Yeah, simple. I was like, we will literally be there. If you give us a place to stay and you pay for our flights, we'll be there before you know it.
Yeah. I'd be happy to go to America.
Yeah, we'll be fine. She runs and she works in a gym. So I'm hoping she can sort out some day passes.
Oh yeah, so, I'm not paying for one thing when I'm there.
No, Catherine. If you literally look after us and prep our meals,
that'll be a long trip as well. Because that's a long flight, so I'm not just coming for a few days. Like I want in a couple of weeks.
A couple of weeks. That's the minimum. So right, let's put our demands like a contract.
10 days to 2 weeks.
10 days to 2 weeks, Catherine. We want everything
first class flight.
Everything. We want to be picked up, ideally by yourself or somebody that we know.
Yeah, you've got to travel over to pick us up and take us back. And then you've got to drop us off as well. And then you've got to fly back on your own.
Yeah. I sent her a voice note because this came through after we did after the podcast to finish. And I sent her a voice note after, like a few days ago with form feedback. And I said, oh, sorry, but I haven't got back to your question. I'll ask Finn on the podcast. But I was like, we've spoke about it before. And it's something that we should do. It would be awesome. The problem is I actually don't know exactly. I think somewhere Ville, she sent me her address when I sent her a t-shirt. But problem is in America, if we were to go somewhere, it's not like, oh yeah, I'm in America, let's meet up. And
it's massive, isn't it?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So
I'd like to go and actually spend like at least a few weeks or months there, so you can actually go and see different places. Like,
yeah, I would,
because I think for that length of a flight, I wouldn't want to go for like 4 days and be like, oh yeah, I had a few days in New York and that was it. Yeah. I'd like kind of want to spend more time there and actually see everything or see more.
Yeah, I do agree. Yeah, I also got asked, mate, never see Finn again or no YB Rose. What a question.
That's easy. YB Rose are out anyway. YB Rose aren't good for you, mate. They're bad. They're dangerous.
Yeah, they're dangerous. Anybody doing YB Rose is just stupid.
Stupid, mate.
Even if we're programming them. But don't not adhere. Don't not adhere.
This is from Aria. So this is related to the Yeah Buddy Rose. She put, what the fuck is a Yeah Buddy Row? Is it a joke or an exercise? And then she put, don't read this if I sound like a retard. Now, I don't think you're allowed to use that word anymore.
You're allowed to use that anymore. Yeah, it's not really a very nice word. So are we going to say mentally ill? I'm going to say mentally challenged.
Yeah, we'll say don't read this if I sound like a lemon.
Yeah, that's the word.
Sorry to any lemons out there if that offends any lemons.
Yeah, exactly. And we can't specify what a retard is. So we can't even apologize because nobody's retarded. It's not a word that we use. So, yeah. Yeah, buddy, mate. What is it? Like, it's not a joke. I don't know why she's saying
It's not a joke. It's the opposite of a joke.
It's
Serious.
not a joke. Yeah, it's a very serious exercise. A very
It's
serious.
probably the most serious exercise. If you don't perform it well, you will die. It's
You
that's
probably,
that bad.
yeah, you will be. You will probably be disabled. Like if you don't do it correctly. So don't
Basically,
go into it. It doesn't matter.
what it is, Aria, is it's a bent over row, but with just horrendous execution. So
Yeah.
that's what it is. If you're unsure, just go on and watch AJ Morris's recent row videos.
Yeah. What's the worst? What's the worst yeah buddy row you've seen? Was it my 4-plate one? Do you remember that?
Your 4-plate was pretty bad. My own, mate, my own yeah buddy rows. I got done by the phone police.
Twice.
Only once for yeah buddy rows. Once for dumbbell row. That's not a yeah buddy row.
Dumbbell rows really weren't that bad.
No, but dumbbell rows were fine. It's just low rep set.
Yeah, those
the barbell row was shit.
But those dumbbell rows, mate, were so much better than what we did rows recently. Like, which is funny.
Yeah.
Because those dumbbell rows, they weren't amazing, but they weren't like, mate. Do you remember my 70 dumbbell rows? Fucking hell! Like the weight, they were shocking, absolutely shocking. I still stood up. Jesus Christ! I got lucky that I never got busted for them.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
I might as well quickly go through the others because these are just like stupid ones. This is from Hugo, who I used to coach. He put no more morning scale pick and a crying face. I told you people cared, mate, about the morning scale. So I did say to Reece, when I got back from my holiday, I just decided I'm not going to do it anymore. So do apologize to everybody who really followed along.
Scale lovers.
I'd done it for like 3-4 years, probably. I'd done it for ages. I did it even way before prep. Or did I do it maybe like before I started prep? Either way, I've done it for a long time. But yeah, I just thought I don't need to do this anymore. Like, come on, Finn, grow up. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
I'm fed up with it.
I did it towards the latter end of prep last year, and I got messages like afterwards when I like stopped doing it daily. I used to do a daily one with like a daily summary of what the plan of action was. And I've had like, not recently, but when coming out of prep, I had loads of messages like, please, mate, continue with this. And I'm like, no, because it literally the exact same food.
That's it. There's a time and a place for it. Like, especially if you've actually got like something to write about it. And like, obviously day to day, like your body weight does, you know, it actually holds some level of importance in the last few days of a prep or the last few weeks. But like peak off season, whether you're at half a pound up or whatever, it's like, it doesn't really matter.
No, it's not going to be like, right, guys, I'm half a pound up. I'm now going to change what I'm going to do. Or, I've dropped by half a pound, instantly going to add more food. You don't have to be as reactionary in a gaining phase. It's literally just going to be, oh, cool, my body weight was up today. Right. My body weight was down the following day. Whatever it is.
I did it. I did it, and I first started doing it just to show like that level of consistency, I guess, and like just for part of my routine as well. And then I always had my weigh-ins on my archive if I ever forgot to log them in my sheets. So now I have to be more accurate and log them in my sheets straight away when I get on the laptop. Otherwise, I forget.
Makes sense.
Final one, Leo Woods. Will you two be using the new best hack in the game at the hashtag Mecca?
That's a fantastic question. That we said we were stood there and we both went, mate, you heard about that hack? And you were like, yeah, and I was like, apparently it's the best hack in the game.
It is the best. No, apparently about it, mate.
No, it's the best hack I've ever used. That's what every single person who jumped on it has said. You have to come off and say it's the best hack I've ever used. And it's weird that it's always a new bit of kit that's just the best that they've ever used. It's really strange how like every new bit of kit is always the best, and then after like 2 or 3 months, nobody uses it. Like I always, and then there's something else.
I don't think anybody's used the Jim Lecco leg press for about 6 months.
Yeah, it came in.
I've never seen anybody on it.
No, it's like, this is the best leg press.
It is actually I actually like that leg press, to be fair. I don't think it's a bad leg press.
I don't think it's a bad leg press. I've always said it's very average. Like, it's just a sound leg press. You know, it's cool, but it's because it's something like people jump on something, it's a bit different. And the bits of kit that they get at the Mecca, hashtag Mecca, sorry. They're all sound bits of kit. Let everyone down. No one knows what the Mecca is. But
I don't know.
They're sound bits of kit. It's not like they're picking up bad bits of kit, but it doesn't have to be as extreme as like, this is the best leg press I've used. This is the best.
Like it's the same though. Like, it's the world we live in, isn't it? Like we always say, like on social media, it's all about like standing out. And if you go, this is the best hack ever, or this is the best exercise, or this is the best meal for building muscle, like people go, oh, really?
I need to do that. I need to have that.
Yeah, it's just terminology to catch attention.
Yeah, I do agree. So yeah, part of it. But no, we haven't used it. We don't have a squat variant in. I can't imagine I'll use it. It's very small. I don't think it looks very steep. I don't really think it looks like a good bit of kit. If I was in a gym and I didn't like if I've never seen that machine and I had multiple hacks, I wouldn't hop on it. I don't think, just based on how it looks.
No, I know what you mean, but we said, didn't we? It'd be good in a small gym because it doesn't take up much room.
Yeah, exactly. Once you're in gym, coming soon.
Fire gym.
Fire gym. Yeah.
FI for Finn, RE for Reece, for people wondering. Got an itchy eye, mate.
Wonder what you've been getting in your eye, mate. That's what it is. Careful.
Probably lavender pillow spray that I've got.
Fair enough, mate.
Well, I actually bought it for Shannon's birthday, but kind of for me.
Fair enough, man. Yeah, good stuff. I'm getting to Snide's birthday in 13 days, and her main present is a present for me as well. So, think smart, think smart, not.
What is it? You're going on holiday?
No, not really.
Holiday's always a good one because you get the present.
Yeah, I'm tempted to say, yeah, we'll do something in like December, but then we're going away in December to Norfolk for my birthday. And it's almost like awkward times. It'd be next month, and I don't really know. I'll have a think. But her main present that she's getting a few different things. I'm not going to say it. I'll tell you afterwards, but it's a good idea.
I don't really care, mate.
Okay, don't worry, mate. I won't tell you then. We got another one from Cams.fitness. He asks a lot of questions. Is it a win if you're the only one in your category, not your first time competing? And this is a fantastic coach to ask because Finn seems to only get people with nobody else in their category. It's Maddie and Jack. That's it, mate.
I spoke about this last week, though. We said it with Jack. Like, there were people that were supposed to do Jack's show. So it is still a win, like, because it's not easy to get on stage. I think also if you look really good, like that obviously it kind of makes the win a bit better. But yeah, it's frustrating, but you still have to get on stage. You still have to do the prep. You've not put in any less work because there's no one else there. So yes, I would say.
Yeah, I won a Powerball Cup against people.
Sorry, guys, we got cut off by Zoom. Should we just go on to the next question, mate?
Yeah, go for it, mate.
So this is quite funny actually because I've done a draft post on Instagram, right? And I've already done the caption. Like, I'll do that whenever I get a few minutes spare, like when I'm doing like cardio in the morning, or like last night was actually when I was walking home from the car park. But anyway, it does relate to it. But Lawrence lifts.
Yeah, big Lawrence lifts.
This one is for Big Finner. But have you ever?
Lawrence, thanks, mate. Yeah, right. I might as well not even invite me for this.
No, but it is for me, right? Have you ever considered doing MPD, so men's physique? Think you'd do really well.
Because you got shit legs.
Massive backhanded compliment there. Cheers, mate. Yeah, so basically in the post, I actually put at the end, I actually look all right if I hide my legs. Maybe I should do men's physique. I've not posted it yet, but it's quite weird that I wrote that out last night.
Yeah.
So yeah, Lawrence, mate. Yeah, I have thought about it, Lawrence.
Mr. Lifts. Mr. Lifts.
No, if you're taking the piss, mate, fair play. That was quite well worded. If you're not taking the piss, I don't think you are.
No. You are. No, I don't think he is. No.
Either way, mate, you're right. My legs are wank, and I probably would do better in men's physique. But I want to be better in bodybuilding, so I'm going to focus on improving in bodybuilding rather than just going, oh, my legs are shit, I'll just go into men's physique. Let's say a few years down the line, if my legs are still really, really shit, no matter what I'm doing, I might just think, fuck it, they're not going to grow. Synthol it is.
Synthol enhanced it is. That's what it is. Fair enough, mate. I don't think your legs are like horrendous. I think if you were to get peeled, you'd probably go, my legs are shit. No, mate, not amazing. But I don't think legs in an off season are so hard to gauge. And unless you've got really, really good shape, they always look pretty shit until you're peeled. And then you realize, oh, I need a lot more muscle. But I don't think your legs would be like awful. You wouldn't have the worst legs on stage. You didn't have the worst legs on stage when you competed last time. They weren't shocking. They just need more muscle, which they still do. But I wouldn't be saying like your legs are that bad to a point where I'd be saying, I'll do men's physique. Your calves are awful. Your calves are really bad. But your actual quads and hams aren't shocking.
Calves are good. What are you on about?
No, mate, they're not. They're really bad.
Mate, my calves are sound.
Oh, I don't know about this. You're smiling through the pain.
This is what you're like when I go like, mate, your abs are shit, and you go, nah.
No.
I go, mate, your front delts. You go, nah, my front delts.
My front delts are sick, mate. My abs are awful. My abs absolutely shocking. They're getting better, but they're very bad.
See, there you go. They're getting better. Stop
They
kidding
are getting
yourself,
better.
mate. Stop kidding yourself. Your abs are shit.
Okay. They, you have to talk down upon me. At least I'm not going to put up a thing about mentality and winning shows and stuff like that, Finn. Come on, get a grip,
I
mate.
didn't
How
put
old?
winning shows.
You're like 25. You're 20, and you got the mentality of like a defeated 16-year-old. This is the step up physically and mentally. We expect better from you. You're supposed to be a coach.
You know, I am. I'm. What's the word? Relatable.
What? Just because you're not very good?
No, because I'm actually honest and I'll speak about how I'm feeling. Whereas you're like, oh, I'm the fucking best, and you're massively arrogant about it, and then you get beat in 2/3 of your shows.
Yeah, I know, exactly. At least I did 3 shows, man. You did 1 and then pulled out a
It's the
prep.
fucking COVID, mate.
Yeah,
Sorry that
COVID.
there was no qualifying.
COVID pushed
Mate,
the
are we
burger
going to get
into
into an argument on the podcast? I'll
COVID pushed the
fucking
burger
shoot
into
you
your
down,
mouth.
mate, and I'll embarrass you.
COVID pushed the burger into you. You're like, I can't continue.
Wait, the show. I didn't even think the BMBF show was going to go on.
Did it go on?
Yeah, but it was a bit naff. I don't think many people did.
I didn't realise that. Did it? What occurred? Did it do it out like outside, or was it a few weeks later?
It was like a month later or something on it.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. So Finn pulled out a prep, just couldn't handle it. He thought another month of dieting, just can't do it.
I'd already dieted for about 40 weeks, mate.
Yeah, I know. I'm only taking the piss. You made up that I said I'm a TikToker.
I didn't make that up.
Now I'm going to make up that you just went out and off plan, and then AJ sacked you, and that's why we've got an defender against AJ, not helping us with the bed rows.
Yeah, they're not called bent rows, mate.
No, right. So we've got asked by Alex Kingsley, 45. He put at the end, bit deep, I know. Hope you're good, mate, with a love heart. So thank you, Alex, mate. As always, hopefully you're good. Biggest thing you've learned this year, Finn? So what's the one thing you can take out of 2022?
Probably in regards to prep clients. I think it's very important to be able to go through a diet with them before the actual prep. So ideally, you want to be getting, if someone wants to compete, you want to be getting them on board like way before the prep, so you can at least have a pre-prep or even just some form of a diet, like a holiday diet or something, you know, prior to that. Everybody's so different. Like, you know, even though we might think you can just get your head down and crack on and make sure that you tick all the boxes, not everybody can, and you have to understand that and, you know, understand different people and try and, you know, work that into how you can still get the most out of that individual. Yeah, I'd say those, because obviously, like I was saying to you before, like they're things that I think we've almost overlooked when we've spoke about prep, because we've just been like, well, we just crack on with it, no matter how shit you feel or whatever, like you just fucking get on with it. And that is the case, and people can do that. And when they do get into that rhythm, they realize, oh shit, I know what you mean. Like, I'm just in a really good rhythm that I'm not even thinking, I'm just doing. And people can do that, but it's not as easy for everybody to do that.
No, definitely not. This sounds like a little bit weird to say, but I watched a video of Thierry Henry, and he said that he struggled to sympathize with other people, like football-wise, because they didn't think the same as him.
Yeah.
And I think it's probably a bit of a, like, again, it's not where like we're naive enough to like shut off anybody else's input, but like, because me and you, like, I said it when we were with Jack, you never asked me how I was, because the answer every time would have been, I feel fucking trashed, but I haven't
don't need to even be saying that, because it's just then thinking about it more.
Yeah, and I think nowadays you realize that like not everybody is going to be like that, and it's not to say that we don't ask. Like, I've asked all my prep clients every single day, multiple times, "How you feeling? What are you doing? Like, how do you feel after your training session? Whatever." But it's more so a sense of like not everybody's going to think the same, and that's completely normal. Not everybody, like, there's many ways to skin a cat, and that's almost how you have to, in a sense, think in a prep, especially when you're working together towards a goal that is tough. So yeah, I'd say you probably answered it quite well. There's probably a few other things we could say regarding like things we took from this year, but like you almost, in a sense, probably like everyone's going to be a little bit different. I think a lot of people say they're about it probably more than they are, and therefore it's a bit of a challenge, because you can kind of get in with that mindset of like, oh yeah, they're going to be good. You realize maybe not, and that's again part of it. And you almost kind of have to, like you said, understand someone to a really good standard, and usually having those relationships, the best sort of prep clients, the best clients are the ones you run with for the longest amount of time.
It helps so much. It helps so much. Like, even just like things like with Niall, for example, like I know for a fact that Niall's prep is going to go well. Like, I have no doubt in my mind at all, because I know how he is. I know how he works. I know how he manages a diet. Like, I know the work and effort that he's put in to build the muscle that he has. Like, we've had the goal set out for years now, or like since he started, well over a year. Like, things like that. Like, obviously, you never know, things could come up. He could get ill or get injured or something. But like, you can put everything in place. Whereas, like, you get someone who, let's say 3 months before prep, they sign up and like, oh, I want to compete next year.
Yeah,
Like
they're
now,
long.
for example, like clients signing up now, like I'm trying to say to them, like, look, you either need to wait, or right now we need to like pull back so I can see how you are in a diet. And then we need to basically probably do that for at least maybe 5-6 weeks and treat it as if it's a prep. Then we can reverse out for 3-4-5 months, and then we can prep. Because otherwise, I don't want to go into a prep if I've never gone through a diet with you, because it's
Yeah,
not. I've learned that this year. It's not going to be good.
yeah. No, I agree. I agree. It's a good thing to take from 2022.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
This is a great question, right? This is probably going to blow your mind, mate. Your little mind. You ready?
Yeah. I'm ready.
So this is from Butcher's Wet Dream.
Okay. It's
Is
about my
an
bald head.
huh?
About my bald head that's not
No,
bald
no, no,
anymore.
no, no. Is an orange called an orange because it's orange, or is orange called orange because an orange is orange?
Okay. The actual fruit like is called an orange because it's of the color that the orange is.
You think?
Yeah, yeah. So orange, the color was initiated first. They looked at it and just went, "Oh yeah, that's an orange because it's
Do
the
you
same."
think that the fruit came first or the color? Because I know you're saying color, but I'm thinking
They would have came collectively, but there would have had to have
that's
been
good.
a tree for the orange to spawn, and therefore the color would have already been in the world.
I do
So
agree. I think that the color orange will have been there first.
yeah, so it's not blowing my pea brain. That's it.
Orange
See,
brain.
my orange, my orange brain hasn't blown it. See, I've answered that very well. I'm quite proud of myself there.
Well done, mate.
Cheers, man.
I
Thanks for
see
that.
you sweating. You were like, when I said it,
Yeah.
you're like, fuck.
You got halfway into the second part, and I was like, I have no idea what's happening. It's confused because
When I
I'm
read
like,
it the first time, I was like, what the fuck is he on about?
yeah, it's what I mean. It's hard to answer. Right. So Finn, and we got asked by Musa. So a new startup, done very well so far. He's asked if you couldn't get an M2 or an M3, what car would you have gotten after you go far? We're gonna spin it around. Finn, what car would you
Whatever
get?
his mum buys him.
Whatever my mum decides. My mum just goes on Reece for getting a new car. And I go, yeah, sound.
Yeah, thanks, mum. I can't wait to post it on Instagram.
Yeah, like I'm the one who's worked hard for the last 3 years to get it. No, thanks. My mum. It's all my mum. No, Finn. What would you go for, mate? Come on, because
Told you, I don't know. When I after I've got a house,
yeah.
I'm gonna buy a nice car, and I'm gonna get you to just tell me what to buy.
So what you want price? What are you thinking though? 4x4? You thinking like a family car? You thinking car similar to what you've got already, like a saloon? You thinking maybe a hatchback? You want to go to a hatchback? But what are you thinking?
Something cool, mate.
Fair enough, something cool. Any design that you like? Like any? Come on, you got to have like. Do you like an Audi?
I
Do you
quite like the big Teslas, you know.
really?
Mm,
So you'd go for a Tesla?
I don't know. I quite like the big Teslas. I do like Audis as well, because my dad always had Audis when I was growing up.
Yeah, yeah. Doesn't that not bring back some bad thoughts of your dad? You know, as a kid.
And he used to bend me over in the back seat.
Yeah.
I mean, that didn't happen.
God, I love Audis. Audis are amazing.
Audi's got some great memories.
Like wiping away the tears. Oh,
So
right.
yeah, I
So
don't know. If obviously I don't like at the minute, it's not my goal. Like, and I'm
yeah,
not that interested in cars. Like when me and Shannon get a house, it's probably going to be the next thing that I'm like, all right, cool. I'm going to get a nice car because I work really hard and I deserve to have nice things. So I probably will get a good car, but for the time being, the Insignia, mate, fucking class. Although it felt like a lorry when I drove it after driving that Fiat 500. It felt massive. It was weird, mate.
Yeah, it will do. But to answer your question, Musa, mate, I probably would have got maybe like an RS3, potentially. And I'd like an RS6 one day, but my next one's like a black Porsche, like a big Porsche. Like I say, big Porsche, like a sporty Porsche.
AJ Morris Porsche.
No,
Mate,
not
trying to be
911.
AJ.
Not a 911. Not a 911. I wouldn't want a 911. I'd want like a Taken Turbo S or a Panorama.
They are pretty cool, those ones. I saw one of those yesterday. You know, one that we saw like in Ireland.
Yeah. The only problem is they're electric. So they don't sound like there's no beans to them, which is annoying.
Mm.
But yeah, I don't know really. An RS3, maybe like an Audi S5. No, I don't really know. Yeah, I'm not too sure, to be fair. It was literally an M2 or M3 or nothing, to be fair, mate. Like, I'm trying to think off the top of my head if anything else was in line with what I'd be wanting. I liked Focus RSs when I was a kid, but I had a Fiesta Z-Tech S as my first car. So that ticked off like my want for like a Ford hatchback that was all right speed, but it was the first car, but it was 140 horsepower. So yeah, I'm not too sure. Musa, what car would you recommend if it wasn't M2 or M3? I'll let me know what you would have gone for in the same sort of price bracket.
All right, this is from Taylor M. White, one of my clients. I think this might be one of the first questions he's asked for the podcast. So I hope you're good, mate. Mindset prior to training and how you spend your rest in between sets.
Well, Finn's a coach nowadays, so he just sits on fucking WhatsApp constantly.
Mate, you know for a fact that I don't.
Mate,
My clients know for a fact that I don't.
You do go on WhatsApp a lot more, I'd say, than you, because I literally log my phone on I log my numbers on my phone. That's it, really.
The only time, because I have WhatsApp notifications on, is if a prep client messages me with like something that needs answering immediately, and very rarely it does. But yeah. I very, very rarely will go on WhatsApp or do any work, I guess, outside of like filming and posting content.
Yeah, that makes sense. But
mindset prior to training.
Yeah,
we do similar, don't we? We work on the way to the gym until like maybe 5 or 10 minutes before, and then we'll put some music on. And then when I'm on the treadmill, so I'll do like 10 minutes of steps before the session. I'll have music on. I'll have a look at what the session is. I'll have a look at what my previous numbers are. And then I'll go and do mobility work and then go and get after the session. I feel like in the past, like we've spoken about this before, like obsessed more about having to be like optimally switched on for the session. But if anything, like you can just put too much pressure on it. And then you end up psyching yourself out before you're even in the session thinking, am I as aroused as I was last week? Is everything the same? Like if you think like that, you're already sort of putting yourself in that position where you're questioning whether something could go wrong. Like instead, I just make sure that my routine is nailed. I'm not going to go in with less sleep or changing food or anything like that. And then just make sure that I'm in a position where I'm almost more like calm and confident than, getting aggressive for a set. I'm more so sort of going into it confidently, knowing that I'm nailing everything, that, there's no reason that I shouldn't still be progressing and getting a lot out of that exercise.
Yeah, no, I'm the same. It's like, I remember I used to have to, when I was like probably a few years ago, I'd have to tell myself over and over, you're going to get this, you're going to get this, is what you're going for. And I now just go in with like that unwavering sort of mindset of like, there's not a single thing that I haven't controlled. So there's not a single doubt in my mind that I'm going to.
It's just a case, I think,
right, cool, I'm turning up.
Yeah, we've gone into sets before, like, I have to get this amount of reps. Whereas now it's like, I have to get the most out of this set. Even if you match or regress or you've gone heavier or you've gone lighter, you've reset it, whatever, like the goal is to get the most out of that set, whether or not it progresses from a number standpoint or not. If you keep getting the most out of that set every single week, like relentlessly, you're going to be growing, you're going to be progressing in the long term. Like even if that doesn't mean that you're not going I have to get this amount of reps, because often when you do that, that's when your form starts to drop off and you realize that, and then you're having to reset all the time anyway. But yeah, rest in between sets. Generally, I will look at my last set because I film most of my sets. So I'll look at the last set, I'll assess it. I'll probably clip the video down to like a format that I'll either post or post on my story. Make sure that I'm recovered and ready for the next set, and then put some music on and go again.
Yeah, it's pretty much that. Good answer, mate. Right. Have you ever been ghosted by a client before?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I think it's part of it. You realize, like, I've had something.
I can't remember. I'm trying to think recently.
Yeah, I've had one recently, and it was a case where I think the individual actually listens to the podcast. So if you're listening, mate, I've got absolutely nothing against you, but I think it's more so a sign of like maturity and how someone deals and communicates. If someone wants to cancel and they were to, let's say, want to A-up, is that Beth Fitness?
Oh my God, Beth Fitness.
Yeah, you're on the podcast. We can see you in the background.
Talk about football.
Yeah. We can see you in the background. Beth, she watched the last one. you want to say hi? Do you want to say hello? There we are.
Hi guys. Hi Finn. You okay?
Hi, Dean, you all right?
Yeah, good. Thank you.
Yeah, good, thank you.
Right,
Oh, mate, Phil Foden is absolute legend.
Oh yeah, don't talk about football. She hates football. She switches
Not
off.
allowed to talk about it.
Switches off the second we start talking about football. But no, right, I've got myself sidetracked because Beth came in. What were we talking
But
about?
basically, people that clients that ghost you. You were saying that the guy that's done it recently.
Yeah. So there was an individual who, like, if a client was to cancel, like, we've got to understand from a coaching perspective, we know, mate, coaching's a luxury. Like, finances, availability of time, it's an input of time upon the client and the coach, and then also an investment of money from the client. If that relationship isn't working through whatever reason, or it's not going to be in line with someone continuing, then fair enough, people cancel. Like me and Finn will have plenty of individuals cancel for some terms where we'll probably go, that's actually a good thing, or sometimes we're like, oh, that's a shame. It's part of it. It's part of paying for a service. It's like where not everybody's going to be able to consistently stick towards a coach as part of it. Now, to being able to communicate, that's quite important. So I had recently a client who had told me that his bank had an issue and it was resulted in the payment being cancelled. He then was, so bear in mind, hasn't mentioned anything. We're in a good phase, making good progress. He was like, yeah, can you send me through a new payment link? Sent him it through, never messaged me back for a few days. Just checking coming up. I could see he was putting stuff on the sheet. So I messaged him like, hey mate, check in a few days. Is there any chance I get an update on above? Hasn't messaged me. And it's been like 3 weeks. So I'm just guessing he's cancelled. And it's like, oh, well, he could have just messaged me, hey mate, finance is tough. I don't think I'll be able to continue. And I go, mate, it's fine. If I can help you out in any way moving forward, more than welcome. Obviously the sheets I would have explained to him kind of the terms and conditions, and we could have left on a good note, where now it's a shame because if he was to message in a few months, I'm already going to be a bit like, well, you didn't communicate with me.
That's what we've said before, haven't we? Like,
yeah,
it's so easy to just communicate and say, look, mate, I'm struggling with money, or this has happened, or whatever it may be. Like, clients are going to move on for whatever reason. Like, we don't expect to coach an individual forever. Like, it'd be nice if we could, and especially when you build up really good relationships. But like, at the end of the day, you're going to have drop-offs. Likewise, you're going to have a lot of new clients as well. But yeah, like, just out of common decency, like, it's not hard to say, oh, sorry, mate, but cool. Like you say, what I'll always say, and especially if they go about it in the right way, is I'll say, like, I really appreciate that. Thank you for letting me know. Thank you for explaining the reasons why. Like, you've got this amount of days until your payment comes out anyway, or until your payment was due. So, we've still got 1 check-in, 2 check-ins. Let's make the most of it. I'm more than happy to set you up moving forwards in terms of what you want to achieve, and you can go on your own. Exactly. You can do it as best as possible.
You can set them up.
You can help them a lot for long term. Like, I've had final check-ins that have been like 20 minutes, and I'm like, right, this is what you should do. This is when you should do this. This is this, and like, give them a bit of a blueprint, and that can set them up for months or even years, like, in terms of the basic principles. But then you have clients who will just be like, they won't message you, and you're like, right, you're on your own. More often than not, they're the clients that come back 6 months later, 12 months later, and you're like, oh yeah, cool, this is the new price. They'd have been on the same price before. Like, we've had that loads.
Yeah, that is a shame. But yeah, I think it's unfortunate, and it's like we said, it's that kind of respect. It's that level of, like, when you go into a somewhat of that respectful business, and likewise kind of relationship between a business, between a coach and a client, there should be that communication, there should be that respect. But unfortunately, you're not always going to have that. Like Aisha, for example, she's the individual who asked the question. She tells me literally everything, probably too much about her life, but it's good because we have that sort of relationship where she's open, she's upfront, she's honest with me, and it's where, like, I can guarantee if something was to pop up, and let's say something like that was to happen, I'd be like, right, well, we can communicate effectively, we can set everything up, but that's because of the relationship we have.
Is Aisha your favorite client?
She's my what? She's
she a favorite client?
No, I don't have a favorite client. Did she ask that to you?
She put, do you have favorite clients? If so, do you put more effort into them? My answer to that is no, I don't have favorite clients, but I put the effort into the ones who put the effort in. I put more effort into the ones that require more effort, because generally the ones that put more effort in require more effort.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You'd argue, and you would say the ones that you put more effort into, you end up liking more and building up a better relationship,
because they get better results. They want to progress more. You get more invested in them because they want it for themselves.
Yeah, exactly. And
it's hard to get invested in a client who doesn't want the progress themselves.
And you probably want it more than them. And then it's like
fucking annoying.
Yeah, exactly. That's something that I think we could probably speak about when we first started coaching, you were PTing, etc. You work with people. And I remember
very frustrating at the start.
Yeah, very at the start. So for any new coaches out there, like you'll probably end up working with people where you'll be more pumped up than them. Like they might hit a new weigh in and you're like fucking awesome. And they're like, not really asked. Or they might eat off plan and you get frustrated, or they might do something different and you end up like you want their results more than them. And that's unfortunately some people you work with, and individuals like that you don't end up vibing with as well.
When you've got less clients as well, like you obviously want, if anything, you want to make sure that everyone does well. Whereas now, like if we have a client like that, like who, let's say, constantly, goes off plan, they're not adhering, they're not putting the effort in, like we'll just say, look, if it's not working, just sack it off. Like it's not worth my time, it's not worth your money if you're just going to waste my time, waste your time, waste your money. Like we'll say to people, like you've got two options. You either sort yourself out and fucking crack on and actually make some progress and make some changes like you wanted to, otherwise you wouldn't have signed up, or you just go our separate ways because it's not worth my time anymore. Like, and then like say you get the people who react to that and go, oh shit, I really need to sort myself out because I'm not. And I always say to people, you're not going to find someone who is going to want to help you as much as this, like because most coaches, if you've got a client like that, they'll just be like, yeah, no worries. Like they won't give a fuck because you're paying them. Yeah. Like, whereas for us, we couldn't give a fuck if you're paying us. If you're not actually putting the effort in, I'd rather you go elsewhere. Like, because it's not worth my time. You're not going to get good results.
Along by our coach who says, right, let's focus on this. Let's do this.
We've said people just want a yes man. They want a cheerleader. Like, that's not what a coach is.
No, in my opinion. Unfortunately, though, from a monetary standpoint, we'd actually be better off if we were like that.
Yeah, we would.
We would make more money because we would have these people.
I don't know, actually. I don't think we would, because I think we're respected for how we are.
Yeah, I guess. I think not many people sign up and goes, oh yeah, Reece and Finn are going to be easy
really nice to me. Like, no, we're going to tell you how it is. And if you're doing really well, we'll be nice. But if anything, we're going to get you results and we're going to make you build more muscle and be better. We're not just going to be your mate. Like, but that being said, we do end up getting like really good relationship with clients because they think likewise.
I had a client who I think
that.
20 plus check-ins, and he was like, mate, that's the first time you spoke about my photos in a positive light for more than a couple of minutes. Like, and I was like, oh mate, that's
usually it's like however many weeks and months, it's a case of getting all the basics right.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't need to go through your photos. Yeah. You're not.
You don't need to go through photos. Your meal timings are off. You're at 3 days of the week. That's more important than me looking at your photos, going, yeah, mate, a little bit more delta this week, and it's part of it. So yeah, if you want cheerleaders, probably apply elsewhere, guys.
Yeah, right. I've got 5 questions to go through, but I need to go now, really. So I'm gonna do real quick a few ones actually. I reckon I can get through them pretty quick. Right, this is from Nick Hanna. You know Nick Hanna from Down Under.
Down Under.
Shout out to Nick. Yeah. Shout out to Nick from Down Under. Would you ever have guests on your show? Yes, mate. Yeah. Having Josh on next week.
Nick would be a good individual.
We could get Nick on one time and we could copy his accent.
Yeah, exactly. We'd have to allocate the times because he'd be all over the place, wouldn't we?
Yeah, we would actually. Yeah. Next one, Macca Morris. Let me guess, Josh isn't on this week. No, mate, he's not. But he'll be on next week. And if he's not on next week, then Josh, you're fired before you've even started.
Yeah.
This is from EdenB.fit, Mrs. Hazard. Yeah. If you and Reece split up, who takes custody of the podcast? We know that it's me because it's my
admin man.
Yeah, that's me. I'm admin man. I told you this before.
Yes, and this is the thing with like Finn. You originally were doing a podcast and it was shit in comparison. You were like, "Oh, I want to do one with you, mate." So
I don't think it was shit. It's just that when you do a podcast on your own, it's more of an educational podcast. It's not like you can't bounce off someone unless you pretend to be someone else.
Realize there's no potential here, and thought I'm drafting in Reece because I'm the glue here. Like you're the starter. I'm the glue. I'm the one who makes it work.
The reason that Josh is coming on is because we're phasing you out.
Okay, phasing me out, mate. No one's going to listen to you. Like
me and Josh, we can call it the Natty Podcast or something, and it'll be fucking massive.
I don't know because it's not going to be MBW, and nothing beats MBW.
Yeah, that's true.
Founded by AJ.
Right. So, final one.
Yeah.
How much would you? This is from Elio31. This is quite a good question.
Elio, that's one of my clients.
Oh, is it?
He's an individual who applied, and I literally another one who I was like, I have no idea. Like that he would ever have listened to the podcast or ever had asked a question or anything like that. But yeah, he's done awesome so far. I'm really well.
How much would you have to be paid? Mate, I think he might be giving you a proposition here.
Oh,
how much would you have to be paid to coach one client exclusively for a year?
So what, just him?
Maybe. I would say it depends who the client is. If it's a client who's hard work and like really frustrating and not putting the effort in, then I'd want to be paid more than my current wage. If it was a client who's really, really good and you have a great relationship with, they're making loads of progress, then I'd be paid minimum wage.
Yeah.
Like just enough to survive.
Yeah.
Because I love this job. I love this grind.
Yeah. Enough to survive, petrol, and then a bit of like primo and growth on the sides for me. So that'd be it.
Yeah, that's enough to survive for you, mate. You can't live without that now.
Yeah, exactly. Being over reliant on peds. So
I'm not going to say an exact amount, but yeah. Right, I need to go.
Fair enough.
We'll get through the rest of yours next time.
Beth, before we leave, Beth, question for you.
Okay,
you ready? So all your PT clients and all your clients, if one person, like one individual, wants to pay you just for you to coach them collectively. Yeah, so just them on their own. Yeah. How much would that be?
Oh,
so just a PT and coach one person. They can ask anything from you. They can like literally anything. How much would be the minimum? What would you want a year?
per year.
Yeah, so like a yearly. Yeah, like it'd be
Wait, so
for a whole year.
I'm only allowed to coach one
Just
person.
one individual. Yeah.
I mean,
What would you go with? Would you like? Come on, we need an answer. We need an answer. Beth. Finn needs to go.
No, I don't even know why you've asked her.
What's 3 times 12?
36 grand.
What, 36k?
40k. Right, Elio 31. 40k and Beth's yours. That's what we'll go with. That's that. Anyway, thanks for all the questions. Thanks for the answer, Beth.
No worries.
Any questions, any tags, story tags, anything like that is always appreciated on the Once You're in Your Own podcast. And yeah, we'll leave it there. Catch you guys next week.